And we are live. Welcome to another episode of Rankum. We're finishing off our Halloween series with one of my favorite things to do on Halloween is watch all the Halloween TV specials that some areas shows decide to bring out. But as always, I'm not alone. I've got both halves of Rhyme and Reason with me. I'm going to go to Sandy, the Sandman Robinson first. Sandy, how's it going?
Hey Malcolm, it's going good. Halloween is one of my favorite episodes, and we're doing one about TV, which is also one of my favorite things. So absolutely love being here. It's going to be a fun time to do it. So thanks for having me.
And I've also got Matt Kearns with me. Matt, how's it going?
It's doing well. I can't really speak. I just like Ben Bateman. I had a lot of winter's juice. I suppose that's not true. I haven't been drinking, but I was more just laughing because I know Sandy when he said he meant to say seasons or holidays, not episodes. Halloween is one of my favorite episodes.
It is at the moment.
I really hope you didn't have an episode on Halloween. That'd be bad, but no, I'm excited to be here. And every time people introduce me and Sandy as like that you have some rhyme and reason, I always think of the scene from Lethal Weapon 3 when it's like Mayhem and something, and Mel Gibson's just like, no, I'm Mayhem, and I can't even think of it.
Yeah, that's right. I remember the scene you're talking
Great
about. Yeah.
Scene though.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be the opening of the next episode. It's just that scene.
And as always, how the show works is we do a round table thing. Everyone will nominate a TV episode, and if the other two think it goes on, they give it a yes vote. It just needs one more vote to make it on. But in the scenario that if I bring up Door of the Explorer Halloween episode, and both Sandy and Matt says no to it, then I can save it, but we all only get one save. So,
but Malcolm, why would we say no to that? I mean, that's all number one on all of our lists, right?
But anyway, get this going. I'm going to throw it over to Matt first. Matt, what's the first one you're going to bring up?
This is always a hard one. So the first one I'm going to bring up is from Boy Meets World, which they did a lot of really great ones, but the one I'm going with is the episode titled "And Then There Was Sean." This was their take on the teen slasher drama. This is also the episode when Jennifer Love Hewitt guest starred as herself, and in the episode she starts dating Eric. It's just a real, like, if you've ever watched those movies from the 90s, like I Know What You Did Last Summer, or Scream or something, like it's a great parody of that. There's a lot of other really good Boy Meets World Halloween episodes, but that one's always been my favorite, especially if you're just like, they don't try to make a name for her. It's Jennifer Love Hewitt. That's just what they call her throughout the entire episode, and it's so funny. So yeah, that's my first nomination. And then there was Sean.
I'm going to throw it over to Sandy. Sandy, what do you say to And Then There Was Sean?
It's 100% on my list. Boy Meets World is one of my favorite TV shows. I watched it in reruns and reruns and reruns and reruns. I could pretty much sing all three different iterations of the theme song. This is absolutely one of my favorite episodes. An episode is good for if you don't like horror, you don't like scary things and stuff like that. But whenever you get those goosebumps that like run a shiver down your spine, whenever I see Ghostface in any form on anything, I get that shiver because it just scares the crap out of me. And whenever the Ghostface character would run by or anything like that, and it would be I would get those chills, especially at the end of that episode. The reveal of that episode is so great, and Matt hit it perfectly about, you know, that Jennifer Love Hewitt was just there to scream with Angela, to scream against Angela, who was the screamer, and then Jennifer Love Hewitt comes in and she screams and Angela screams, and then they try to say it's hilarious. So not only did they bring in the scary, but they brought the funny too. So so yeah, 100% on my list.
And with that, Boy Meets World makes the list. For me, I've not seen an episode of Boy Meets World, and just
you need to change that.
Yes.
You
so
can
I
even,
wouldn't have been able to vote.
I would say don't start with this episode because it plays a lot on like who the characters are. But I would say go back and watch the show from the start. It's a really good show, Malcolm. I think you'll like it. Yeah, it's really good.
I mean, generally when I start a show, I start from the start anyway, not from the Halloween episodes. But never mind. I'm going to throw it over to Sandy first. Sandy next. Sandy, what are you going to bring up?
All right, so I've been on enough of these top ranked shows over the last little while to know that my theory and my strategy of going low first to try to get into something in under the radar is absolute bollocks. It's complete crap. I am going hard out of the gate, and I am going to pick The Simpsons, Treehouse of Terror, but I'm specific with Treehouse of Terror number 5. It has the episode of the Shining parody that's in it. Even though I'm not the hugest Shining fan, I was a fan of that particular segment in there. I would lump in every Treehouse of Horror together because I think The Simpsons do it right. They do it scary. They do it completely irreverently. They don't care who they kill or maim or turn into something else or you know, whatever. And as always, you never get a Treehouse of Horror episode that does not have Kodos and Kang in it, which is fantastic. They're always there. It doesn't matter. And sometimes they're even the star. But Treehouse of Horror 5 is my pick for the top one.
I'm going to throw it over to Matt. Matt, what do you say to Treehouse of Horror 5?
I have to say yes because that was the Treehouse of Horror episode that I put on my list was Treehouse of Horror 5. Even though literally there are so... I think the thing why I went with Treehouse of Horror 5 is that the issue with some... Not all Treehouse of Horror episodes is like 1 or 2 of the episodes or I guess sketches you want to call them can be really good. But then one might be like not as good. Treehouse of Horror 5 really just kind of all around is just really, you know, really good. Even though the one Malcolm that I know you had on your list, I really enjoy as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with 5 making the list. Like the one I had on my list was number 6, and that was the one, and that was the one where all the statues come to life and Homer becomes 3D and goes into the real world. So I mean,
that's a good one.
They've done so many. I mean, you could probably ignore the most recent Treehouse of Horror because it's really not their best.
Yeah, it wasn't. But that's the Simpsons in a nutshell. You can ignore them.
But
it's not really the best.
But anyway, this with that, enough of that. It's
transitions.
Exactly, transitions work fine. But you know, it's back to me. I mean, we could probably do a whole list on this Treehouse of Horror episodes alone, but
yeah,
there's like 28 of them.
Yeah, but anyway, it's back to me, and I'm for my first one, I'm going to throw out a interesting choice, but this is one that I didn't consider a Halloween episode myself, but when I sort of looked onto a page which said had Halloween episodes, they considered this one, so I put this on the list, and it's Legends of Tomorrow Phone Home. In this one, the legends travel back in time to Halloween night when Ray was just a kid, and it's pretty much a recreation of E.T. but with the Dominators as the little wee babies. I mean, and this is really a good show. And, I mean, Legends has a few good episodes in there. I obviously like all the Arrowverse, but Legends Tomorrow Phone Home's on the table. Going over Matt first. Matt, what do you say about this?
I have not really seen a Legends of Tomorrow episode that isn't a part of the crossover events. Malcolm knows it. I just haven't, and something against the show. There's only so much time in the week, and lately I've been devoting more of my time to podcasts. I've started listening to a lot of podcasts, so I just haven't. So I want to say yes based on your description because it sounds like something I like, but I can't give it a hard yes because I don't know if it is a great Halloween episode, so I have to go with no just based on the fact that I haven't seen it. But from your description, I want to check it out.
That's all perfectly fine. Sandy, it's down to you.
Yeah, I'm going to save you here, Malcolm. This episode of Legends of Tomorrow is one of my favorite ones. It's so eerie how closely they associate it with E.T. In a lot of spots, I thought that the copyright infringement might have crept in there, but they actually did a super job of it. And yeah, the fact that the E.T. is a dominator, it was... It's really, really funny. You have a lot of funny moments with the entire crew or the entire cast. I think Black Canary is one of my favorite in this episode. So absolutely 100% yes on my list.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah,
I'm fine with that.
And get away with that. It's back to Matt. What are you going to bring up next?
All right, so this is when I pull up one that I really hope gets on this list. I'm going with The Office. Now, The Office, they've done a lot of really great Halloween episodes, but I'm going with the first one from season 2, which is just titled Halloween. This is where a lot of classic Office stuff came from. This is where 3-Hole Punch Jim comes from. Dwight dressed up as a Sith Lord, Pam as a cat, Michael with the paper mache head. This episode is just really funny because it's everything I love about the show. The episode deals with Michael has delayed. He has to fire someone because of just cutbacks on the company. And he waits until Halloween to do it. And so the whole episode, it's Halloween and he's doing what he considers the scariest thing, which is trying to figure out who to fire. And there's a couple of times when he's going to fire Stanley and Stanley just thinks it's a joke. And then probably my favorite moment in the whole episode is when him and Jim, he role plays with Jim as Michael, and Jim just says Michael is and Michael just freaks out and just goes, I'm going to kill myself and it's your fault. It's your fault. So this is that's the Halloween episode of The Office going with. Any excuse to just do jokes from The Office, I'll take it.
Yeah, The Office is a show that I haven't got around. Another one that I haven't got around to watching. But it's definitely on my list of shows that I do want to watch as soon as they come onto Netflix in New Zealand. But yeah, Sandy, what do you say to The Office?
So much like Matt said for Legend of Tomorrow, I'm not a big fan of The Office, so I have not seen this episode. But knowing The Office, it was probably funny, probably pretty scary. But just based on that, I'd have to say I don't have a frame of reference, so I can't say yes or no.
I'm gonna save it just because it's if you've seen it, it's because it's from season 2. It's so many classic Office moments. So I'm gonna use my save on this.
And with that, The Office makes the list. Sandy,
I'm hoping to pull Daredevil with this one.
It's Sandy. What Halloween special are you going to bring up next?
Okay, so I'm going to bring up a Halloween episode. I'm not going to get into super specifics because it doesn't matter which of the episodes you use on this one. I'm just going to pick one. But one of the best television shows for doing very, very good Halloween shows was Home Improvement with Tim Allen. They did some amazing Halloween episodes, and the one that I will throw out there is probably my favorite. It's called A Night to Dismember. It's more of a future with the boys are a little bit more grown up and what happens to them in it. But it, like I said, Home Improvement, they always went. There was a couple of TV shows that went really all out with their Halloween episodes, and this was one of those TV shows. So yeah, if you ever get a chance to watch it, there's only 7 of them. They only had 7 seasons. They did one Halloween episode every single year. So go check out. You can go on to YouTube or anything like that, and you can see the whole list. But A Night to Dismember is the one that I'm going to nominate today.
I mean, I loved Home Improvement when I was a kid. I really don't remember this episode, so it's going to have to be a no from me. Matt?
I'm on the same thing. I love Home Improvement. It's one of my favorite shows to watch, but the way you describe it, again, quite like Malcolm Legends Tomorrow, and especially as a fan of Home Improvement, I really want to watch it, but I just don't know it. I just don't have a frame of reference with the episode, and if it's better than some of the other Halloween episodes that I do remember. So, yeah. Although I love Home Improvement. Great show.
All right.
But with
you can save it, though, if you want, Andy.
No, I've got a couple more that I'm going to try to save.
Yeah. With that, back to me. I'm gonna got a few comedies on there. I'm gonna bring up one of my all-time favorite shows that I really love. That's just recently been remade, or rebooted on TV, and that's Charmed. And they had a really good episode called All Hallows Eve, in which on the Halloween night, they go back in time to meet their ancestors and spend a lot of the time sort of learning about magic and how to deal with magic when their own powers don't work and they're finding new ways to do it. I mean, this is the OG Charm, which is Prue, Piper, and Phoebe. Is like all the actresses were done well, and Julie McMahon as the olden day Cole from that era. It's just all done so well. And, they learn so much about their history. It's really a defining episode for the characters' lives. I'm going to throw it over to Matt first. Matt, what do you say to this?
This is going to become a repeat phrase, I feel like, on this, which is I never seen an episode of Charmed. I technically did. I saw like a little bit of it once when my sisters were watching, but like I don't have a frame for reference. I don't know if I like it or not. So I'm sorry. I have to go with a no.
That's right. I mean, we've all got different TV tastes by the look of it, so it's probably going to happen for all ends. But Sandy, have you ever seen Charmed?
Yeah, I've seen most of Charmed. Just I was. You guys know I'm as I've said before on a couple of Rankum shows that I am a huge Beverly Hills 90210 fan. So one of my favorite people was Shannon Doherty at the time. So I watched Charmed, of course, and I do know this episode, and I vote yes for this episode. It gives everything that you would want. It's they're witches, for crying out loud, and when you put witches in a Halloween episode, all mayhem and hell, no pun intended or pun intended, breaks loose in this episode, which I like it. So I say All Hallowell's Eve is on the list.
And makes the list, and it goes back round to Matt.
Okay, so the next one I'm going to nominate is one of the South Park Halloween episodes. They always do great ones. The one I'm going with is A Nightmare on FaceTime. This is the one when it's a Shining parody. Randy buys the Blockbuster because he thinks that's a good investment, and they end up getting stuck. And the whole crew is dressing up as the Avengers, and Stan has to go as Captain America, but he's not allowed to leave the Blockbuster. He has to work there, and so they decide to bring an iPad and then just they treat it like Stan's really there. Like there's a part when someone cuts it with a knife, and then but the funniest bit, well, one of the funniest bits in this episode is when they bring the iPad to hospital and it starts dying, and Kyle just starts screaming out, "Does anybody have a charger?" This if you know the movie The Shining, this is funny, and even if you don't, it's still just a really funny episode of South Park. So that's the one I'm nominating.
Yeah, those that know me know I absolutely hate South Park and have,
Yes.
and so yeah, I've never seen this episode and never will. Sandy.
Fair enough.
So once again, I'm gonna come to one of your guys' rescue and say that this absolutely gets on the list. There's about two or three really good South Park Halloween episodes, but this one is so funny from start to finish. It is it's less scary or freaky or anything like that than it is just funny. It's just funny, and it takes. They do such a good job at taking shots at regular people, so like the regular world at large, and yeah, this is no exception. So 100% is on there.
Just to jump in, the shots they take it just like our viewing stuff of just like no one's coming in to rent for Blockbuster, and then there's a bunch of criminals who they rob a red box, and there's like 2 quarters in there, like just the shots they take of like all we watch now on Netflix and our face. Hilarious.
That's right. That's good.
Before it was Halloween, people they'd be scared. They want to run scary
and now if it's back to Sandy. Sandy, what do you have for us?
All right, so I'm on the fence on a couple that I want to bring up, but I think I'm going to stick with the one that I wanted to, and it is from another television show that was recently rebooted and then rebooted again, and that would be Roseanne, season 2, the episode called Boo. It was the very start. The first season, the Halloween episode, was a little weak. The second season is where they really took off with it, and they've never done a Halloween episode that hasn't been good since, even in the newest incarnations of it. This one is particularly awesome because it's Dan versus Roseanne, about how who could outscare the other one, out-trick the other one, which Roseanne ends up winning at the end, with just an amazing prank. It's absolutely fantastic. It's hilarious as hell. There's even this really bad lip syncing that DJ does while answering the door. It's so good. Just go and watch it. But that's my nomination. Boo from Roseanne season 2.
Yeah, I mean, all controversy aside and whatever stuff Roseanne's done aside, but I enjoyed Roseanne. I've got a few shows that I think is better than this Halloween special, so it's going to be a no from me.
Killing me, Malcolm.
That's right. Matt might save you.
I can hear
this is hard.
Vader.
No, this is hard because I have another Roseanne. I'm gonna say no because I think my Roseanne Halloween episode is a little bit stronger. Although this, I will agree with you. This one was better than one first season. This one really establishes the Connors and their love of Halloween, and Roseanne is one of my favorite shows. So I always look forward to watching their Halloween episodes every year.
All right, so for the record, for the viewing audience out there, Sandy's the only person that's been shot down so far during this entire list.
What do you mean? I had to save The Office.
I know.
I had to save a show.
You got Treehouse of Horror 5 on there.
Oh no, I know, but out of 3 turns, 2. It's Malcolm who starts it always. It's always.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll go for that one.
Go for
I was looking in the chat, and there's a few people that said that if this show doesn't get mentioned, they'll be upset. But
yeah,
But
they're gonna get
Community
upset
is
either way.
the one I'm going to be bringing up here, specifically the episode Epidemiology, because yeah, I think that's the title. But this is a fun Halloween episode, and it takes the whole premise of zombies to a new level. Is the just about all the cast become a zombie at one stage in this episode, and just to see this Community is one of those shows which is so good, and I just wish that we could get another season or even a movie of it. But I mean, we've had the 6 seasons. We just need the movie. But yeah, Community Epidemiology is on the table. Sandy, what do you got?
So to whoever was yapping at us in the chat, Community was going to get brought up. It was going to get brought up by me at some point or another, and this was the episode that I was going to bring up. Community was another one of those TV shows that really went all out during their special episodes, and Halloween was no different in this one. They're fun. They're funny no matter what, but you add an element of scary into it, where practical jokes and pranking is encouraged, and it gets funnier and funnier. So this is an absolute yes for me.
And Matt, your vote wouldn't have mattered, but what would you have said?
So I have seen Community. It was the show that would always follow the episode of The Office that American Airlines would play when I would take flights when I was younger. This was never one of them. Never really took flights in October, I guess. So, yeah, I don't know this show. I'm just going to record myself saying I haven't seen this. I have no frame of reference, so I can just play it for later on. Save myself the words.
Anyway, it's back to Matt. Matt, what is the next show you're bringing up?
Okay, so the next show I'm going to bring up is the episode of Roseanne, the Halloween episode of Roseanne that I chose, which is Halloween 5. I chose this episode over the others because the prank that Dan pulls on Roseanne is so perfect.
Yeah.
But pretty much the gist of it is Dan and Roseanne always play pranks. And Roseanne is kind of ready for Dan's prank. Like, she's kind of like expecting, because she's working Halloween night, she's kind of expecting anything that sort of comes to the door is going to be a prank. So this guy comes in, gun, he holds up the lunchbox, he robs her, he takes her wedding ring, and he gets her home address because Roseanne gives it to him all willingly because he goes, oh, it's just Dan's prank. And then Jackie comes in and is like, Roseanne, you just got robbed, and proceeds to tell her what Dan's actual prank was. And the whole episode from there on is Roseanne freaking out that she just gave a criminal her address and wedding ring. And then at the very end of the episode, you find out, nope, that was Dan's prank the entire time. John Goodman in this episode, just his laugh is just amazing. I love it. So I went with Roseanne Halloween 5 because the brilliance of Dan's prank is just so... He planned on everything. He planned on Roseanne knowing, like, going to be right for a prank. He got Jackie involved. He even had a whole second prank that wasn't even that bad of a prank on its own to set up. So yeah, I go with this one.
Sandy, what do you say to Roseanne Halloween 5?
Well, like I said, I wanted to have an episode of Roseanne on there. It didn't matter which one that it was. I picked one that Matt didn't necessarily like as much as this one, and he absolutely is right. This is a great Halloween episode because it is a masterminded piece of engineering by Dan to completely get Roseanne.
Because the last few episodes, the seasons before, Roseanne was always winning the prank war. So this was Dan's like triumph. He finally beat her.
Exactly.
And then they killed him off in the last season.
Yeah, I know.
I guess.
Well, sort of. Yeah. So this episode for me is an absolute masterpiece of TV Halloween episodes. So it makes my list for sure.
Yeah. And my vote wouldn't have mattered. I still would have said no to it, but for the same reasons as the last one. But yeah.
We have 8 so far. We're doing really good.
Yeah. Anyway, it's back to Sandy.
Oh. All right. All right. You know what? I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go for it all. I'm gonna
Go for it.
I'm just gonna go for it all, and I am gonna say I am gonna put my favorite Halloween television episode of all time on the list. And if you guys shoot it down, I'm coming for you. But it's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. I still record this every single year in order to watch it at some time. And I just did it. I watched it the other day. And it wasn't even Halloween. I was watching other Halloween stuff on Halloween, so I still watched it just because that's how much it means to me. I love this episode. It shows Linus and his beliefs. It shows Snoopy fighting the Red Bear, and everything about this episode is fantastic. It shows everybody and what they do. But nothing is more fun than watching, Linus in the pumpkin patch waiting for the Great Pumpkin to come there. So that's my vote. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
This made our list for top movies set on Halloween, and you're damn right it's going to make it. You're damn right it's going to make this one as well. It's a yes for me. It's the Great Pumpkin is always something that is classic Halloween. It's just one that always encapsulate the holiday, and one that most TV channels play it at least once. So, Matt, your vote wouldn't have mattered. What would you have said?
Yeah, this is a yes. This is classic Halloween, but like not in that way of like when some people describe things as classic, and it's like you just kind of say that just because it's old and people watch it. Like this just it encapsulates everything about Halloween. The daydreams kids have, the trick-or-treating, the disappointment of trick-or-treating, the putting on a costume and having that adventure in your mind and everything. And it's a ton of fun. There's so many great, gags in it, like when they use Charlie Brown's head to design what they're going to do for their jack-o'-lantern. It's just brilliant stuff. So yeah. This gets a yes, of course. I love how this made it on 2 lists.
It's back to me, and I'm going to go for one of my TV shows that I was worried was going to be cancelled last year, and that's Brooklyn Nine-Nine. This is another show that has done a Halloween episode in just about every season. And this one I also picked. It was also just simply called Halloween 5. I thought this was one of my favorite one of the Halloween ones, because this is the one where Jake does the whole Halloween dare thing that they always did in all these episodes, and did it in a way to propose to Amy. And I just thought this was a fun way to show a proposal on TV. And this is probably one of my favorite proposal episodes actually as well. But Matt, what do you say to Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
I haven't really seen Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I have no frame of reference for it. Go to Sandy. Sorry.
It's all right. Sandy.
So I will freely admit that I used to be a big Brooklyn Nine-Nine fan. I watched the first 2 or 3 seasons religiously. I loved it. I sort of got away from it because that kind of things were kind of hokey. This episode is fun, there's no question. But as we are closing it out, getting close to the end here, I'm gonna have to say no on this one, just because I think there's a couple of more episodes that are more Halloween-y and a little bit more, little better than that one.
Yeah, I'm not going to save it.
Yeah.
I've just got a lot on my list. There's like,
yeah.
But anyway, Matt, what are you going to bring up next?
So I'm going to bring up Modern Family has always done really great Halloween episodes, but I'm going with their first one, which I think is just titled Halloween. This is from the second season. This is just it sets up the fact that Claire and Phil, their favorite holiday is Halloween. There's just a lot of really great jokes throughout the entire thing. Then trying to get Gloria trying to speak more American is just hilarious. But I think my favorite joke is Haley throughout the entire episode is trying to wear like one of those like slutty girl Halloween costumes. At the very end, she dresses up as Mother Teresa. And she's like, but I'm Mother Teresa when she was young and hot. And that just killed me because if you actually know who Mother Teresa is, that's just hilarious. So yeah, that's I'm going with Modern Family Halloween.
Yeah, for me, Modern Family is one of the shows I tried to get into, but never really got into. So I haven't seen this episode.
That's fine.
Sandy.
Yeah, I'm not a Modern Family fan. My wife, however, is, so I do have to watch it on occasion. And once again, because I love all things Halloween, I've seen this episode before, and this episode is hilarious. It really is. I can say whatever I want about the show. I don't like it, but this episode, it does have rewatchability for it because it is everybody in this cast has something to do in this show, and it's all funny. So even though we're getting down to the end, I'm gonna say okay, yeah, that this one gets on there because it deserves to be there.
And it's back to Sandy. Sandy, what is the next one you're going to bring up?
All right, so I'm gonna go with I'm probably gonna get smashed on this one. It's okay, I'm gonna bring it up anyway. Some of the best Halloween episodes are the ones that you anticipate but don't come, and then come at some time that you don't anticipate them. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV series, only did a Halloween episode every 2 years that it was on there. So you wait for a Halloween episode on what essentially was a Halloween episode every episode. But the one that I'm talking about is called Fear Itself. It takes place at a frat party, and the stupid frat guys try to do a spell, and the spell goes wrong, making the entire party a live Halloween house. So all of the tricks and all of the stuff that were fake turn to real. The glass eyeball bowl full of eyeballs is actual eyeballs. Anything that jumps out and scares you is actually that thing that scares you. The Scooby Gang, as they're called, get separated, and they have to dig into their own fear and conquer their own fear. It's a great episode. Plus, you get Giles going through the entire frat house with a chainsaw, cutting everything to ribbons. It is absolutely awesome. If you really want to be scared on Halloween, watch this episode. It's fantastic.
I mean, I haven't seen Buffy. I think I've seen this episode, but with 2 spots left, I can't say yes to it. Matt.
So how about that Sarah Michelle Gellar? Do you know she actually married her co-star from I know what she did last summer for Prince Jr.? That's just fascinating. And then they later starred in the Scooby-Doo movies. That's just really interesting, I think. And Josh Whedon of Avengers fame, this was actually kind of where he got his start. I just think it's ever more fascinating, right?
I'll mark that down as an X. Thanks, Matt. I really appreciate it.
It's because I don't want to say I have not seen the show, therefore I have no frame of reference. Because I kind of have a frame of reference about the star of the show. Do you also know that one of the co-stars actually went on to go and star in How I Met Your Mother?
All right, I'm going to take my remaining time to try to do this episode, and I am going to save it. I'm saving this episode, and I'm just going to say this for the record. Not a Halloween episode, but it should have been, from Angel, is when Angel gets turned into a puppet. He's like a legit Muppet. And it's hilarious. Spike laughs at him. He launches himself and beats the crap out of Spike in puppet form. It's so hilarious. Go watch that episode. So great.
This list is going to be really hard, I just realized, for me to rank. because it's mostly going to be the bottom half is all I haven't seen. We also have one more spot.
Yeah, and it's back to me. And what was very funny in Matt's little spiel about Buffy the Vampire Slayer gave me the perfect transition. Because yeah, exactly, pretty much. Specifically, the episode entitled "Slutty Pumpkin." This episode is my favorite Halloween one that they did. Because this was pretty much like Ted going to a Halloween episode as the Hanging Chad, a reference which no matter how many times I watch the series, I still laugh when he brings up the Hanging Chad, because like it's one of those ones like it's a dated reference, but you still laugh at the fact that he still likes to bring up these dated references. But he goes up to Halloween to try and find the Slutty Pumpkin, which, as we found out in a later season, was actually Katie Holmes. But this one is one of my favorite episodes. It's probably one of my up there with my favorite episodes of How I Met Your Mother. Full stop. But yeah, Sandy, Slutty Pumpkin is on the table. What do you say?
Slutty Pumpkin. I will tell you this. Slutty Pumpkin deserves to be on this list for the name alone. The fact that this is an episode name is great. I was not always the biggest fan of How I Met Your Mother, but this episode is a standout for me. So I agree with Malcolm that this should be on the list.
And with that closes up the list. Matt, what would you have said anyway?
I would have said yes. I love How I Met Your Mother, and this is one of my favorites. It's just a great, and now I guess we could technically say classic episode of How I Met Your Mother.
Yep.
And with that closes out the list. Matt, did you have any honorable mentions?
The only honorable mention I had was That 70s Show. Always they did I think 3 Halloween episodes. My favorite was it's called Too Young to Trick or Treat, Too Old to Trick or Treat, Too Young to Die. They parody a lot of Alfred Hitchcock in this one, and also just the line that Eric says I use every October when I'm, as I get older. Too old to trick or treat, too young to die, because that's just the truth about this holiday, sadly.
And Sandy, did you have any honorable mentions?
Yeah, most of my honorable mentions will be will be older for stuff. There was a couple of really good episodes of Halloween episodes from Beverly Hills 90210. MASH had a really spooky, scary episode of Halloween. I can't remember the name as it right now. Please help me out in the chat if you guys remember it. MASH, somebody had been brought in and wrongly tagged dead. So they left him for like almost the whole episode, and then somebody found him and he was alive. And it's to this one of these days, it just still sends a chill right down my spine whenever I see it. Because what ends up happening is Father Mulcahy goes out there to give him the last rites, and a tear comes down from his eye, and he screams, "Somebody help!" It's bone chilling, but because it's probably something that happened a lot. During that time, so that would be the real honorable mention that I make on that one. Go watch that episode of MASH; it's fantastic.
Yeah, and for me, I've actually got quite a lot, but I had a very recent one that I had was from a TV show that I really loved watching. That it started. It's got Sigourney Weaver, I believe it is. It's Speechless and Nightmares on DeMayo Street. I've got Sabrina, the Teenage Witch, episode 81, The Phantom Menace. I had parts.
Whoa, that's a copyrighted title there, Sabrina.
I had the Middles, Halloween 6, TikTok Death. I had Family Guy Halloween on Spooner Street. I had Bugs Bunny Halloween Special.
That's a good one too.
I had Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, Arenstein.
Oh, see, I like the I forget which one it was, but it was when they go into the haunted room. That's a really good one. Esteban is
Um,
here.
I even had Magic School Bus and the Haunted House on there.
Oh, Magic Scuba.
I also had Ultimate Spider-Man, the Howling Commandos episode that they did. They also did a couple of Halloween specials, one involving the Disney Channel series Jessie as well. But yeah, but with that we've got our 12, and that we've got the Boy Meets World Halloween special, got Treehouse 5, Legends of Tomorrow Phone Home, The Office Halloween, Charmed All Hallows Eve, South Park Nightmare on FaceTime, Community Epidemiology, Roseanne Halloween 5, It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown, Modern Family Halloween, Buffy Fear Itself, How I Met Your Mother Slutty Pumpkin. Now we get to the fun part of voting of what we want, which is going to be really interesting because there's a lot that I haven't seen on this myself.
It's gonna be a lot of a bunch of people going for like, gee, this episode should be higher. Watch this show. If you like to like clone a second me or two more me's, one to do my schoolwork, one to do my take free work, I will gladly watch all of these shows. That's a lie, because even if I had that, I would just spend more time rewatching all the shit that I already watched.
Yeah, Matt, what do you have for number 12?
So I'm going with this because I haven't seen this show, and out of all the ones that I haven't seen, the plot description of this one was the weakest to me, so I'm going with Charmed.
Sandy, what do you have for number 12?
It pained me to do this. It's going to pain me to do all of them, but I said Legends of Tomorrow Phone Home.
I thought I'd leave. Stop trying to vote for the ones I haven't seen, because that's probably was going to be a thing. But I'll put Nightmare on FaceTime.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, that's too good.
But in the chat, the cool guy does. Everyone else is saying Legends of Tomorrow, so if that Legends of Tomorrow, but because of the chat, Legends of Tomorrow is going to be 12.
All right.
Oh, your fault. Kidding. This is going to be a lot of us just going, I haven't seen this one, so it's all right.
It was one of those things that was always going to be a risk.
Well, when you do like movies, it's like like when we did the movies on a Halloween list, it takes like 2 hours to watch a show, a movie at most. Whereas like TV shows, like sometimes it's hard to just, and even if you were to watch, like, even if I was to just watch like this episode of Charmed, what if like there were references to the show overall that I didn't understand, and I still wouldn't have liked it. So that's a difficult thing with TV.
Started off with myself. I've still got Nightmare on FaceTime for number 11. Matt.
Yeah, I still got Charmed.
And Sandy.
Charmed.
Ooh, can change it.
That was basically my motivation for putting Charmed on there, was to get Matt to erase it and do a new one.
I don't know why, like, when I'm on rank, why would I change, if I think it should be low down on the list, why would I change it to give it the opportunity to possibly be even higher? Never understood that. Me and Brooklyn, we have this same thought process, which is we want something lower. We just keep using it until it gets low.
Although in saying that, Brian Nazvam in the chat agreed with you two that Charm should be 11 anyway. So
all right, there you go.
Anyway, Matt, what do you have for 10?
I did the Community episode.
Sandy.
I did the Modern Family episode.
I've still got Nightmare on FaceTime.
All right, people, it's up
Just
to you.
Malcolm, just like with Bohemian Rhapsody, you're gonna have to change your mind.
I could say the same thing about you guys at Modern Family.
So in the chat, you've got Community, Nightmare on FaceTime, and Modern Family.
Okay, so Cool Guy says Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but that doesn't count. Okay,
Yeah.
now he says Modern Family leaves.
Yeah.
Is this going to be the first list that it's mostly the chat writes, not really us? We just sort of give them 3 suggestions.
Probably.
Nice. Way to go, chat.
Audience participation. Oh my god, could you imagine if for whatever reason no one was watching this episode? Oh,
yes.
that'd be hard.
Anyway, Matt, what do you have for number 9?
So I add an emoji at the end, but still Community.
So Sandy.
All right. I will say Community as well.
Sandy, you sound so mad. You don't have to do it, man.
No. I'm just now it's getting harder and harder to pick one, so I'm just like
I've still got Nightmare on FaceTime.
God damn it, Malcolm. See, I'm never gonna say for you to change your mind because what kind of person would I be? But man, you keep doing you. Okay, now let's see. What do I? Okay, that's cool.
Well, I mean, as well, those ones like most of these I don't mind which order they end up in.
Okay.
I just it's more my hatred for South Park, Chris.
All right.
But anyway, Matt, what do you want for 8?
I have the last of these shows I haven't seen, which is Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Sandy, what do you have for 8?
I have The Office.
I'm not going to show my board, but I've still got Nightmare on FaceTime.
Of course you do.
So
all right.
Chat,
All right.
So
Chat,
Chat,
Says Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Worse.
He has it at number 8.
Yeah, the cool guy has just said Buffy.
Yeah, he's been wanting to get rid of Buffy for a while. I think, but I don't think it's any evil thing. I think it's just like me. I think he's just scrolling through the ones he hasn't seen.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Now, this is so difficult. Now I have to choose between ones that I've seen. I'm
gonna start. I mean, I've still got what I've got on my board, so I'm not going to bother revealing it. Sandy, what do you have for 7?
I still haven't erased it off my board either, so it's still Community.
I put How I Met Your Mother.
Oh.
Didn't we just put Community got 9?
Oh, Community did get 9. I meant the I meant the Office. Yeah, so Office.
Oh,
it's between The Office, South Park, and How I Met Your Mother. Chat, you decide for us.
Pretty much the way it's gone so far. So good job, chat.
Yeah,
good work. Thank you for writing our list for us.
The Office,
damn it,
please.
Cool Guy. I thought we were boys.
Yeah, Cool Guy. You're cool.
Fuck this shit. This is just bullshit. This is.
I mean, this is the easiest one for me, voting wise.
Yeah, it really is. You kind of just.
Matt, what do you want for number 6?
I was actually thinking of changing it, but then looking at the ones that are left over, I like them a little bit more than Slutty Pumpkin. So I have How I Met Your Mother.
Sandy, what do you have for 6?
Well, that would be South Park.
God damn it, that should be higher on this list.
I got to get Malcolm to erase his board.
You're okay. This is the same thing as putting We Will Rock You at number 5 on our Queen countdown, just because it goes right after We Are the Champion. Like, no, We Will Rock You. I mean, come on, guys. Come on. Man, we really just keep referencing that Queen ranking show. It wasn't a rank 'em, it was a jukebox trivia.
Yeah. So just to recap what we've got left, we've got Boy Meets World,
Treehouse of 4 5.
Treehouse of 5, yeah. It's a Great Pumpkin is still there.
Yeah.
Roseanne and Slutty Pumpkin.
Yeah, and How I Met Your Mother, yeah. It's a pretty good time.
All right.
Sandy, what do you have?
As much as I love the name, I've got to go with Slutty Pumpkin.
Matt,
How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother.
And my vote wouldn't matter, but I actually had Halloween 5 Roseanne.
All right. I like the silence we get when we're like, fuck you, my picture.
Matt, what do you have for 4?
I have Boy Meets World, and then there was Sean.
Sandy?
I have Halloween, The Office.
That's number 7.
That got on it. That got in at 7.
What?
Yeah, the ones left over are Boy Meets World.
Roseanne.
Pumpkin.
I wrote down freaking Community twice.
And Treehouse of Horror 5. Those are the ones that are. It's fine.
That's
right.
I think we've all done moments like that.
All right, can I get a repeat on which ones that we have left?
We have Boy Meets World, and then there was. Oh, I'm sorry, Malcolm. It's your show. Do you want to do it?
We've got Boy Meets World, Treehouse of Horror 5. It's the Great Pumpkin, Halloween 5 from Roseanne.
Okay. All right, I'm okay with that.
We had the movie Halloween 5, actually. It was so good. Yeah, Halloween 6 is the one where Michael Myers fights the dude with dreadlocks with the bow staff at the end.
So what one do you have?
Yeah, I'm okay with this being number 4. Boy Meets World, and then there was Sean.
And I've still got Halloween 5, but yeah, Boy Meets World is at 4.
Okay, so that leaves us with Treehouse and
It's probably the most audience participated list we've done on this show.
Most definitely.
But I'm
going to start off with because I've still got the Halloween 5 from Roseanne on my board. Matt, what do you have?
I actually have Roseanne, Halloween 5.
And Sandy?
I had Treehouse of Horror 4 or 5, but I'm okay with that too as well.
This is the hard one.
Now we vote for the number 1.
Oh, this is not a hard one for me.
It's not a hard one for me either.
Not for me either. It would have been The Office if it wasn't at number 7. When I was making the list, this was the first one I put down. Was Office Halloween.
As the Rolling Stone says, you can't always get what you want.
That's true. That's just the description. You know, like the description for Rhyme and Reason, the show that talks about everything important you didn't know was important. That is the description of rank up. You can't always get what you want.
Because I've still got the camera on Sandy. Sandy, what do you want at 1?
My number 1 pick is the greatest Halloween show on television of all time, and it's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Matt, what do you have?
I have It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
And we are all in thing because I believe it got number 1 on our movie set at Halloween as well. But
nice.
Yes, it's number 1 here as well.
Was that really number? No, I feel like
I'll have to rewatch it. I think it might have.
No, Halloween. No, it was Halloween.
Yeah, that's
Halloween
right.
Town was number 2, and Great Pumpkin was number 3. Yeah, I don't know how I remember that, but
That's amazing.
yeah, no, that's yeah.
You remembered that all.
Yeah. But I always listen, man. I'm a camera whore, so I really love to watch myself a lot. So I go back and watch these episodes of Rankum I'm on a lot. Just...
That's awesome. That's my boy right there.
But anyway, that's our list. And to recap, our number 12 Halloween television specials are: at number 12, got Legends of Tomorrow, Phone Home. At number 11, we've got Charmed, All Hallows Eve. At 10, we've got Modern Family, Halloween. At number 9, we've got Community, Epidemiology. At number 8, we've got Buffy, Fear Itself. At number 7, we've got The Office.
Bullshit.
And Halloween. At number 6, we've got South Park, Night Beyond FaceTime. At number 5, we've got How I Met Your Mother, Slutty Pumpkin. At number 4, we've got we've got Boy Meets World, and then there was Sean. At number 3, we've got Roseanne with Halloween 5. At number 2, we've got Treehouse Horror 5. At number 1, we've got It's a Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
Nice.
And with that brings us to the end of the show, and start off with Matt. Where can people find you online?
You guys, as always, can find me online at Kearns_Matthew on Twitter, MattMovie611 YouTube, and right here as co-host of Rhyme and Reason. The episode that just went up was the first part of our Star Trek discussion. We talked about top 5 episodes for the original series and Next Gen, as well as top 5 characters. And next week, part 2 drops, and that's going to be me and Sandy talking about our top 10 Star Trek movies. And then the following week, part 1 of our Star Wars discussion drops. I'm not going to reveal exactly what we talked there. And also, my show that I produce solely on my own, Second Look, that has been on hiatus. It's coming back. You'll probably see the episode come out in December, but just in time for it to go back on, season off hiatus again. So I'm really excited about that. And you can also, whenever Malcolm, I love being on Rankum. I love ranking lists and doing stuff. I really do. So whenever I'm able to come on here, I love to do it. So thank you again, Malcolm, for letting me be on.
And Sandy, who's picks with the number 1 and 2 spot on the list, we can find you online.
Everybody can find me on Facebook and Twitter at srobinson1799. You can find me, like Matt said, as co-host of Rhyme and Reason every Saturday. We've got a big 4-parter coming up the next 4 weeks. We've got 2 of Star Trek and 2 of Star Wars. It's fantastic. You guys go out and watch it, please. Help support us and watch those shows. If you're a fan, we'd love to see you. You guys can see me all over Take 3, whether or not I'm doing reactions or late night with Take 3 every Thursday with Brooklyn Vale, and a lot of the crew sitting right here. Malcolm and Matt are always on here, and you guys can see me always as a host and content contributor over at Full Metal Trivia. We have all kinds of stuff going on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Guys, go and see what we've got dropping. We just recorded a bunch of matches. They're going to drop soon, so look out for those. And Malcolm, thanks so much for having me today. This was a lot of fun.
Not a problem, man. And you can find me on Take Productions hosting Rankum every week. And because we're doing the Halloween special, we have been doing polls. The polls return tonight. And it's going to be a long overdue all Arrowverse topics this week because this, I was going to do that when all the shows first started, but it happened in the middle of Halloween, October, because they wanted
Everybody vote for top 12 John Wesley ship moments in The Flash. Everyone do it. I don't care if it's a poll option. Everyone do it.
Nice.
Note to self: don't remember to make it a closed poll. Anyway, You can
Malcolm
also find
unleashing
me.
the funny.
You can also find me committing a trivia of Full Metal and Multiplex all over the place. And,
Cough, cough.
and next season of Venom Teams, me and Matt are going to tear up the teams as Team Timeless. And you can also find me on Twitter, Letterboxd, and Stardust at Malcor. And with that, see you next week and we'll rank them.